Hello everybody, I'm Palmer Gaming, and today I'm covering the 10th line and a summary for those who need the story and they want it now, especially if you want to get in my story, link below. Anyhow, I'll be using only screenshots from the game since a lot of the dialogue doesn't just stand around talking. And I really need to keep the hard drive space, so please bear with me here. And, of course, there'll be spoilers, and I was originally gonna do all the cutscenes, the voice acting and stuff, but I realized that video would be over like 6 hours, so I decided not to, and that's why we're getting the summary version. And again, this is only a summary, so I will not be able to touch every little detail and theme, so please play the game for yourself afterwards if you're interested. Anyhow, the story begins with a girl running away from cultists in the forest. She runs into a couple of beast people who are Rick the Kobold, who is a bit naive and a little selfish, and Tox, his wiser adopted brother. They help the girl fend off the cultists, and the girl reveals that she is a kidnapped princess. Rick offers that him and Tox help her get home in return for a reward. The princess agrees, and they all head off to Shivbury. When they arrive at Shivbury, they agree to get some supplies and get some rest. Before they get some rest though, they decide to get some food to eat at a local pub nearby. So they were enjoying their food, but then suddenly cultists attack. Lawrence the Brawler helps them fight off the cultists and they escape into the forest. From there, Lawrence agrees to tag along because he has some unfinished business. Eventually, after walking through the forest for a while, they run into a huntress known as Sonya, and she wants to kill Tox because he's a black dragon. Then other hunters show up to steal Sonya's kill or something, and she helps defend them and agrees to tag along afterward just so she can kill Tox in the end. Ain't she just a doll? We then see a thin man talking to a tall man, basically letting him know that the girl got away. Back to the party, they come to a town full of noxious gas and they decide to see what's causing it since it's coming from up the river. They soon find out that it's being caused by a green Dracomage called Six, and they fight him, and then Six realizes he was unknowingly causing harm after they talked, and so he goes to the townspeople and apologizes. They accept Six's apology, and then Six travels with the party until they help him find a new home. They stay the night at the local inn, and the princess tries to run away in the night, but she is attacked by cultists and Luck saves her. Luck tells her to say hello on the road the next day, and she returns to the inn. She goes to say hello the next day, but upon seeing Tox, Lux freaks out and he attacks with his guards. Six breathes like gas on Lux and his guards, and they all escape into the blanket. The group feels down because they were forced to attack the Lux guard, which could be troublesome, but they venture through the blanket and come across a red Dracomage called Vax. He is jokey and fun, and with the help of the party, he lights some of the torches, and he agrees to stick with them for their adventure as they enter Havenbrook. Havenbrook is holy because apparently that's where the lines are in. Anyhow, they set up camp for the night, and Rick finds Lawrence all on his own. Lawrence had a daughter that was taken away from him, and after seeing a scout, he told the scout where to find him so he could kill their leader. Rick does not approve, but he agrees to say nothing. However, the plan falls through and the thin man is there instead of the tall man, and the thin man for some reason helps them by allowing them to escape into the Feverlands and end the swamp. They pass through the Feverlands, and Six happens to find a cave that is perfect for his new home in the swamp, to Vax's dismay. They say goodbye to Six and they enter Silkwind Crossing, a town overrun with giant and deadly spiders thanks to the events of the fourth line. They walk on the north path, and eventually the black Dracomage called Vix knocked everyone out with black Dracomage poison. To talk to Tox personally about a poll and how it's almost time. When she leaves, the party wakes up except for Rick. They realize that he is almost dead, so they take him someplace safe, which is Rick and Tox's childhood home. Meanwhile, the thin man reports his defeat, forcing the tall man himself to come and get the princess. Anyhow, Rick wakes up and realizes where they are and runs away from the painful memories in that place, because the reason Tox and Rick ran away from home in the first place was because Tox accidentally murdered some drunks attacking their foster parents. Rick is spotted by Lux and he sends his men with firebolts to follow him, and with those men on the way, the group needed a distraction to escape, so Vax stayed behind, and Vax was shot in the back and the whole house was burning. Vax supposedly died, but people beg to differ, and that makes Tox really mad, and he practically tells Rick that he's dead to him, and so Rick runs away into the Desolate. While in the Desolate, Rick realizes what his selfish mistakes caused, and after helping some dwellers in the Desolate, he sets out to make things right again before the end. Meanwhile, the others cross Fagmire Wall, with Sonya hanging behind, only to meet up with Rick on the other side. Rick apologizes for everything, and everyone agrees to travel together again, and just to see where it is that Tox is heading to as they approach the White Cliffs. On the White Cliffs, they find Lux himself surrounded by dead black Dracomages he has killed. It turns out he also killed the king because he was pleading with a black Dracomage for salvation. The party fights and defeats Lux, and he dies by an avalanche coming on down, right on top of his face. They finally reach the outside Skyweather. When the tall man and his lackeys confront the group, it is revealed the princess is On, an orphan girl. The tall man then takes away On with little effort. The party is then disbanded. Tox joins his other black Draken brethren and sisterin above the cliffs, and Rick runs away and he gets stopped by guards. However, thanks to Sonya having ties with the crown, she was able to help Rick get to the Shepherd's Oblivion hideout with the knights as escort. Funnily enough, the cultist hideout happens to be in the giant crater the Black Dragons are gathering above. How convenient. Everyone, one way or another, meets up again in the Shepherds of Oblivion's hideout. They defeat the Tall Man and end up confronting the White Energy, who are destructive beings that can only be defeated with the Black Dracomage poison. They all escape to the crater's edge, and the end begins as the Black Dracomages fill the air with their poisonous gases. The Black Dracomage poison defeats the White Energy, but upon realizing that Rick will die, Tox absorbs all of the poison out of the air and becomes a statue, sacrificing himself. Rick later on becomes a Knight of Skyleather, and is the matriarch of an orphanage, and as for the others, they just left. Lawrence joined the army or something, Sonya left the country, and Six got himself like a cult or something of followers. Anyhow, the game's final scene ends with both Ann and Rick visiting Tox again after a year to pay their respects. Oh yeah, and I almost forgot. Nick shows up for a little bit and kinda complains about how there's no purpose for their lives anymore and how Tox took the coward way out and yada yada, but yeah. Anyhow, and that is basically the plot summary, and like I said, this is the gist, so I didn't give you all the details. Every little touch, every little hint, and even whole scenes have been left out, so I suggest you just play the game for yourself if you want to get the full experience and understand things that didn't really make sense to you. Anyhow, this game is on Steam, so I'll link the Steam page below, and it's also on PS4. Just search this game on your PS4 and you should find it, unless it's not available in your region, then I'm sorry. Anyhow, I will also, again, have my link to the story I've been writing below too. Pretty interesting stuff I've been writing there. Anyhow, I've been Palmer Gaming. If you like what you see here, hit the subscribe button and check out some more of my other videos. I'm gonna go and eat some chips now. Have a wonderful day.